Late at night. Yanqing. Zin returned to his home unconcealed. At this moment, his mood is very complicated and he is in a state of utter confusion. Just this evening, Ruoli's biological mother, Yingshouhe, came to the Su group to meet him. As soon as the two met, Yingshou anxiously asked him the whereabouts of Ruoli. However, Zin didn't know how to answer. Because he didn't know where Ruoli went. She vanished as if the world had evaporated, leaving no clues. Yingshou, who was missing an arm, knelt down to Zin crying, hoping that he could accept that Ruoli was his biological daughter, and did everything possible to find her whereabouts. Zin agreed. Ruoli is his biological daughter. This is supported by the results of DNA. Moreover, Yingshou had a life-saving grace for him back then. The reason why Yingshou lost an arm is entirely to save him. Therefore, whether it is for the face of his own daughter or the face of the savior, Zin cannot hide it but agree. However, his heart was blocked. Because he encountered such a thing for the first time. For the first time, there is no clue to that person's whereabouts. After that, the Su family's hands and eyes were open to the sky. In the past, as long as they wanted to check, there was no clue that they couldn't find it. But this time, the Su family was at loss. Therefore, Zin was also very worried about Ruoli's current situation. What he was afraid of was not that he could not find Ruoli, he was afraid that Ruoli was probably no longer alive. Therefore, when he returned home, he always felt very heavy. Yes. The moment Zin opened the bedroom door, a glamorous middle-aged woman walked out of the bathroom. This woman had just removed her makeup and took a shower. Her long hair was wrapped in a hair-drying cap. Although she had removed her makeup, her skin was still very smooth and clean. She looked like natural beauty and was a lady who was normally well-maintained. This woman is Zin's lifelong love, his wife, Leona Du. The Du family is very strong in Yanqing. Although it may be a bit worse than the Su family in terms of assets, it is actually not much worse in terms of background, status, contacts, and overall strength. On a special level, it was even stronger than the Su family. After all, money is not the only measure of strength in any place in the world. Leona was one of the most respected celebrities in East Cliff. Her family background made her almost the dream lover of all the rich second generations of East Cliff. Zin is one of them. Leona has given birth to children and over 50 years old, but she still maintains the same charm as a young woman in their 30s. Seeing Zin coming back, Leona said distressedly, "Why come back so late today? Are you tired?" Zin grinned reluctantly and said, "It's okay, I'm not tired. There have been a lot of happenings in the past 2 days." Leona counted and nodded. Since she married Zin, she has not cared about Zin's work. Because she felt that she didn't need to interfere with men's affairs. Therefore, she never asked Zin about the details of his work. Seeing that Zin was very tired, she said, "Change your clothes first, I'll put some water for you, take a good bath, turn lights off when you go to bed, and you won't wake up at midnight." Zin was moved in his heart and hurriedly said, "My wife, you don't need to worry about me, I can just do that myself." Leona said, "I just used the water in the bathtub. It will take a long time to warm the water. You should change your clothes and rest for a while." Zin smiled and said, "It's okay, I'll just use your washed water to soak for a while." Leona said with some embarrassment, "How can that be? The soaped water is not clean." "You wait, I will refill the tub, no need." Zin smiled and went into the bathroom immediately, undressing, and said, "How can my wife's bathwater be dirty? Leave it, I'll go in for a while." Seeing that he took off his clothes, Leona reluctantly shook her head and said, "That's fine, soak for a while. If the water gets cold, I'll warm it again. I'm going to bed to read a book." Zin hurriedly smiled and said, "Okay." Leona left the bathroom, closed the door behind, and then lay on the comfortable and luxurious bed. Then she took a book called Anna Karenina from the bedside. This is a literary masterpiece by the Russian writer Leo Tolstoy. It is about the tragedy of Anna Karenina's pursuit of love. Leona has read this book countless times, and she has memorized many passages verbatim, but she still picks it up and reads it every now and then. Sometimes she felt that she was a bit like the heroine of this book to some extent. Although she was born a noble, although she was an elegant and charming elder lady in the eyes of others, she never got the love she really wanted. Her husband, like Anna's husband, is obsessed with his career. Although he loves her deeply, she feels a kind of boring frustration because of his excessive rigidity. She can only find comfort in life from her children. The subtle thing is that Anna met her true love in a lifeless married life. But he is quite the opposite. It was after encountering true love, but unable to get true love, that she joined hands with Zin into the married life. Anna finally dies by committing suicide. Although Leona did not have any thoughts of suicide, since the day she married Zin, she knew that the love in her life was dead. After flipping through a few pages casually, Leona couldn't help but imagine the figure of the man in her mind. For more than 20 years, the figure of that man has never left her thoughts. Almost every night, she fell asleep thinking of the man's figure. And that man is the love of her life, Chang Ying Wade. Thinking of Chang Ying, she involuntarily reached out and picked up her mobile phone. After the phone was unlocked, she opened the browser on the phone and entered a very complicated web address in the address bar. This URL is actually a web album. After logging into the account and password, she clicked to confirm and entered her private photo album. This private photo album was registered by Leona herself more than 10 years ago. She converted all the photos of herself and Chang Ying, as well as all the photos of Chang Ying she could find, into an electronic version and transferred them to this photo album. Only she knows the account number and password. As long as she has the opportunity, she will open this album every day for a while, and then silently exit and delete all access records. At this moment, she opened the photo album, and when the handsome face of Chang Ying appeared on the screen of the phone, tears of Leona's 2 lines burst out involuntarily. She looked at Chang Ying's photo, rubbed her face with fingertips, and whispered, "Chang Ying, you have been away for so many years, why can't I forget you?"